Still living off your parents at your age? Lily, moochers like you should just disappear. This house will be ours soon anyway, sneered my 8-year-old niece, Emily, with a smug grin. My sister Anne and her husband Sam chuckled right along with her. It was obvious what kind of parenting was happening in that household. I could feel my blood simmering. My name is Lily, and I currently live in my parents' home. I used to have my own place, but I moved back to be closer to my aging parents. I love my job, and I've never really been interested in settling down. Marriage was never part of my plan. One of the biggest reasons I returned was to spend quality time with them. My father was once a professional chef. Even though he's retired now, he still cooks with skill and passion. His meals are something I truly cherish. When I lived on my own, I missed his cooking deeply, though I never told anyone that. When I came back, I made it a point to help out however I could. My mom had just stepped down from her part-time job after years of working. She was hesitant about retiring, but I encouraged her to embrace it. Both of my parents have physically taxing careers. I reminded them they didn't need to keep pushing themselves. Since then, I've done my part financially. Admittedly, I'm not always the tidiest outside of work, and I depend on my parents a bit when it comes to household upkeep. But the arrangement works for all of us. It's balanced and supportive. Unfortunately, the peace in our home is constantly interrupted by Anne and her family. Without warning, they show up almost every weekend. They live about 30 minutes away, but they come expecting meals, as if we run a free restaurant. Anne justifies it by saying it cuts down their grocery bills. Sam never disagrees. They devour whatever my dad cooks, say nothing of thanks, and leave the kitchen a mess. I might have let it slide if that were all. But Anne's sense of entitlement knows no bounds. Before leaving, she often scours the house, snatching up anything she thinks she can sell online. I had to start hiding my jewelry and favorite clothes deep in my drawers. She even raids the refrigerator, grabbing ingredients without so much as asking. When I confronted her, saying that if she weren't family, this would be considered theft, she brushed me off. "You wouldn't get it, Lily. It's hard managing a household," she said condescendingly. But Anne's selfishness has clearly rubbed off on Emily. "Rose, this is nasty," Emily would complain, making a face at the meals my dad lovingly prepared. Neither parent would correct her. Despite being made by a retired chef, Emily rejected the food with a wrinkle of her nose. "This is disgusting. I want cake," she demanded. And instead of disciplining her, Sam would look at me and say, "Do you have any?" All I could do was blink in disbelief. "Excuse me," I replied. Before things got tense, my dad stepped in gently, apologizing. "Sorry, Emily, we didn't make any cake today. Did you not like the meal?" Emily scowled. "It's always gross. I only like dessert. I don't want Grandpa's food." Despite the fact that they came for free food week after week, if Emily didn't like it, it seemed we had to adjust. "Mom, Dad, can you please prepare sweets and cake for Emily next time?" Sam requested casually. I couldn't believe how entitled Anne and her family had become, especially how they treated our parents like staff. But I held my tongue, not wanting to stress my elderly parents further. I felt sorry for them. As usual, after their visit, Anne and Emily took a quick lap through the house, grabbing whatever they thought was useful, and then left. It felt like they already saw this place as their own. The audacity was infuriating. Seeing my frustration, my mom quietly said, "It's my fault. I should have had cake ready. I'm sorry." Meanwhile, my dad silently scraped Emily's untouched meal into the trash. The sight tore at my heart. For the next week, I wrestled with the thought of telling Anne they needed to stop coming over. But before I could act, they showed up again, uninvited, as if it were normal. "Is dinner ready yet?" Sam asked, like he lived here. Emily frowned at the cake my mom had bought. "There aren't enough strawberries. I don't like it." Sam changed the TV channel without so much as a glance. They were behaving as if they owned the place. Later that evening, while Anne and Sam enjoyed their wine and food, Emily sat glued to her phone, still refusing to eat. "Grandpa and Grandma are so useless. I wish they'd hurry up and leave," she muttered under her breath. Then, out of nowhere, she declared brightly, "Good news. We're moving in next week." I froze. My parents looked just as blindsided as I felt. Sam added with a grin, "Yeah, we figured it's too much of a hassle to drive here every week. Living together will cut expenses. No more rent, free groceries." My parents sat in stunned silence. I finally spoke up. Hold on, that's incredibly sudden. We don't have enough space, and you're planning to move in without offering to pay for anything? That's not happening. Sam's smile vanished, but before he could reply, Emily beat him to it. Lily should just move out already, she said, placing her phone down and glaring at me. She's a freeloader. Grown-ups who live with their parents are losers. This house is going to be ours. Anne and Sam laughed quietly behind her, clearly proud of her outburst. I stared at this child, wondering how an 8-year-old could be so cruel, and realized she was just echoing what she'd been taught. My mother tried to calm things down. Emily, don't say that. You're going to hurt Lily's feelings. I don't want to live with her, Emily snapped. She's embarrassing. What if my friends find out? I want her gone next week. That was the last straw. After months of biting my tongue, I finally spoke. Fine, as you wish, I'll be out by next week. You can have it all to yourselves. Anne's family smirked, seemingly pleased, and walked out as usual without lifting a finger to help. My parents looked frightened, but oddly relieved. Maybe they too have finally reached their breaking point. When I suggested a solution, there was a lot to do before Anne's family could move in. Thankfully, my parents were a great help, and it provided me with much-needed relief. The house was cleaned up, and the move was complete, just as Emily had demanded. Essentially, I had moved out for their sake. The day came when Anne's family was set to move in. I was busy settling into my new place. While I missed the house I'd lived in for years, the new place felt refreshing. I could already feel the weight lifting, knowing I wouldn't have to deal with Anne's family popping in uninvited every week. While I was cleaning, my phone rang. It was Anne calling over and over. I finally answered, and she practically screamed, Lily, why didn't you pick up? There's a problem with the house. Well, it's my house now, and I've already torn it down, I replied, trying to keep my tone light. What did you do? She yelled, shocked. I could only imagine the surprise on their faces when they arrived to find the house being demolished. When I moved back to help my parents, the house was transferred to my name, and I made the decision to demolish it. It was old, and my parents agreed it was time for a change. Plus, with Anne's family wanting to move in, I thought it was the best option. Emily's comment about me being a parasite was clearly misplaced. I explained this to Anne. You and Emily have said a lot of hurtful things. It's not okay to raise your daughter like this. It would be a shame if she turned out like you. I told her, my words laced with sarcasm. She seemed taken aback, but then she started pleading. What are we supposed to do now? We've already left our old place. We're going to end up homeless. Emily's only 8. Maybe it's good for Emily to experience a bit of hardship. I responded coolly, still cleaning. Anne started crying, saying, how could you be so cruel? I thought to myself, that should be my question. Who was it that insulted me, both directly and through their daughter? I shot back. I'm sorry, I'll make Emily apologize. Please just let us stay in your new place tonight, she begged. Not happening. Mom and Dad are scared of you now. You've been nothing but negative, and our new home is just perfect. They're happy here. Please stop interfering with our peace, I replied firmly, hanging up the phone. Anne kept calling, but I ignored her. I noticed she also reached out to our parents, but they ignored her as well. Eventually, the call stopped. I guess she and her family found somewhere else to stay. A few days later, my mom told us what had happened. Anne had been sending texts to Mom. Apparently, they were now staying with Sam's parents. Sam's mom is very strict about manners, and Anne clearly isn't happy living under such a rigid roof. Emily, who had been spoiled, was having a hard time adjusting to the new environment. In a way, I think it's good for her. She was headed down a bad path, and this might help her grow into a more disciplined person. Tough on her now, but maybe a better future. It turned out Anne and Sam were in worse financial trouble than we knew. Sam had a gambling problem and often wasted money on bets. Anne didn't stop him, she even joined him sometimes. They had racked up a lot of debt, and that's why they wanted to live with our parents. I couldn't believe their audacity. Sam eventually left Sam's parents' house, but no one really knows where he went. He left a note saying, I'm leaving. Don't look for me. The police treated it like he left voluntarily, likely due to debt collectors chasing him. He's now working multiple jobs just to survive. Anne continues to text Mom daily, asking for help, but Mom has made it clear she won't be giving in. We raised her that way, but this is a necessary trial for her, Mom said. Interestingly, our parents and Sam's parents are on good terms. When Mom apologized to Sam's mom for the trouble caused by Anne and Emily, Sam's mom just laughed and said, "These kids are a real challenge, but they're worth teaching. Don't worry about Anne. I'll make sure to give her and Emily a good education." At this point, my parents and I are relieved to have cut ties with Anne's family. We no longer live in constant dread of their uninvited visits. Dad, who had lost some confidence in his cooking after Emily's harsh comments, is now back to his old self, proudly cooking meals for us in the new kitchen. Every time I tell him his food is delicious, he gets more excited to cook. Mom, who used to get exhausted when Anne's family came over, is now enjoying life again. She's joined a local art club and resumed her passion for watercolor painting. It's been great seeing her get back to what she loves, and she's now going to the park to sketch. We're looking forward to the upcoming exhibition by the art club, and we plan to attend. It's nice to see my mom thriving again. As for me, life is busy but peaceful. I'm still doing the work I love, and with Anne and her family no longer around, I feel a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. I didn't realize how much stress they were causing me until it was gone. Now I feel free to enjoy life again. My parents are aging, but they're happy and healthy. I know I'll be there for them when they need care, and our new home is well equipped to make caregiving easier. Lily, thanks to you, we're so happy, Mom says all the time. Dad always adds a warm smile and a thank you as well. I moved back home for them, but seeing them so content is the real reward. I want to continue living this calm, fulfilling life and make sure we stay happy together. Thanks for reading, and I hope to see you again soon. Stay tuned for the next update. 2 seconds.